voiceless. People get killed for other stupid choices. Standing up for the families that took a loss. This something that we find important. Rep game strong, chest up. Little homie, keep your head up. You can be whatever you want. Get rid of the fake and it will lead up. All my life I strive for greatness. I'm manifesting my time with patience. People try to copy us, but respect is earned. It's not an obligation. I love the fam and they love me back, and that's why I always have the backs. I give a voice to those people who
what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. It is 2/29/2024. What is going on? Alicia, thank you. I appreciate that. Michelle said, T blank twice if you need help. Good gracious. I'm all right. We're good. Buck Cherry, what's going on? Here we go. Desiree, nice to see you. Brian, what's up? As you guys are coming in, make sure you hit the like button. Man, tonight we're getting into a story of Madeline Soto. And the mother talks about the timeline leading up to the daughter's disappearance in Florida. Now, she's saying Madeline Soto was reported missing earlier this week after she did not make it to school on Monday morning. In the latest development, her mother's boyfriend, Steven Stearns, 37, was arrested Wednesday on charges of sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material after detectives said they found disturbing images on his phone. Stearns has not been arrested in connection to the 13-year-old girl disappearance or 13-year-old girl's disappearance, but was the last person to see her. He is now considered a prime suspect, police said. Detectives said it appears that whatever alleged actions were captured in the images and videos happened at the family's home in what? Kissimmee? I don't even know how to say that. Kissimmee. That's what that shit looks like to me. Maybe it's or Kissimmee, Florida, which is south of Orlando. They also said that Stearns had allegedly attempted to delete evidence from his phone. So what are you hiding? There's red flags waving already. Madeline's mother, Jen Soto, spoke with Fox 35 on Tuesday night about the timeline of her daughter's disappearance, who was last seen after being dropped off at a church down the street from her elementary school. According to police surveillance video, hold on, let's pull this over here. I got you. Let's check. And this is the one I'm checking out right now. Let me pull it up main screen, right? All right. Again, Madeline's mother, Jen Soto, spoke with Fox 35 on Tuesday night about the timeline of her daughter's disappearance, who was last seen after being dropped off at a church down the street from her elementary school. According to police, surveillance video shows that Madeline was last seen with Stearns when he dropped her off in the parking lot of the Peace United Methodist Church, which is just a few blocks away from Hunters Creek Middle School. Orange County Sheriff John Mina said at a press conference earlier this week that she was possibly embarrassed by the vehicle and asked her mom's boyfriend to be dropped off there instead of at school. Madeline, a prime suspect accused of having child porn. Steven Stearns, 37, the boyfriend of Central Florida mother, whose daughter, Maddie Soto, disappeared earlier this week, has been arrested on charges of sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material, officials said. Stearns has not been arrested or charged in Soto's disappearance. However, he is considered to be a suspect in her disappearance and was the last person to see her, officials said. Now, what happened in the days leading up to Madeline Soto's disappearance? The day before Maddie disappeared, her family celebrated her 13th birthday. Madeline Soto turned 13 on February 22nd. She was so happy she showed us all her gifts. She was just a happy girl, and she showed it on Sunday. When she went to bed, she was so happy, said Soto. Jen Soto said there was no moment in the evening from when she got home that she had a phone or a laptop indicating that she was having conversations or making plans for Monday. On Monday morning, Stern drove Madeline Soto to school, where she was seen on surveillance video crossing the street, appearing to walk to school from the church Stearns dropped her off at. When Stearns was arrested, he invoked his right to an attorney and declined to speak further before being booked in jail. That's a red flag again. That's another red flag. This is her at the birthday, I'm pretty sure. Wow. That's her at the birthday, and she just went that he was the last person to see her, dropped her off at a church. Like, what's going on there? That's sus. That's so sus. This dude's sus as hell already. Jen Soto said her daughter had never run away before. She said the teen had forgotten her cell phone at home that morning, but that was normal. When deputies searched Madeline Soto's phone, they learned that she had told her friends that she wanted to live in the woods after her birthday. What? She wanted to live in the woods. That's crazy. So she wanted to live in the woods after her birthday. This triggered searches in the woods behind her middle school, but she hasn't been found yet. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement said Madeline Soto is in danger, meaning that her physical safety is in danger, such as a predatory abduction or kidnapping. An Amber Alert has not yet been issued for Soto, which is weird. These kinds of emergencies alert or these kind of emergency alerts are triggered when law enforcement has well-founded belief based on an active investigation that a kidnapping has occurred, according to FDLE. Now, there could also what is that? What? What was that? Okay, right here. There could also be a well-founded belief that the missing child is in imminent danger of death or serious bodily injury. So are they indicating she moved into the woods? Like what? We don't know if she was taken. We don't know if she stepped away. She left her phone at the house, Sheriff Mina said. All right, let's scroll down more. Again, have you seen Madeline Soto? How can we help? Maddie Soto is a 13-year-old girl who was reported missing this week. She was reported missing on Tuesday after she was last seen at around 8:30 a.m. on Monday, February 26th, in the area of Town Loop Boulevard in Hunters Park Lane in Orlando. Soto is 5'1", 110-pound girl with blonde hair and blue eyes. Officials said she was last seen wearing a green jacket, black shorts, and white Crocs. She has a mole on the left side of her nose and the right side of her chin. The Orange County Sheriff's Office thanked those wanting to help search for Madeline Soto, but asked the public to avoid coming into the search area. For now, we are asking that people refrain from coming to the search area and to let our emergency response team handle that. But we will advise if that changes, the sheriff's office wrote on X. Now, here is the missing child alert here. A Florida missing child alert has been issued for Madeline Soto, last seen in the area of the 13,500th block of Town Loop Boulevard in Orlando, Florida, who was last seen wearing a green jacket, black shorts, and white Crocs. Madeline, okay, again, Madeline has a mole on her left side of her nose and the right side of her chin. She went missing on 2/26 of 2024, 13 years, obviously, and she's a female. Blue eyes, again, 5'1", weighed 110 pounds, Orange County. Now, if you have any information about Madeline Soto's disappearance or whereabouts, contact the Orange County Sheriff's Office at 407-836-HELP. Again, it's 407-836-HELP. All right, that's the end of that one. Let's check this out now real quick. Woo. Man, that's another. It's like back to back to back to back to back to back. I seen people talking about this last night though. You said I need an update. Thank you. We just read an update, fresh off the cuff, and we're gonna dive into this because this just came out also. So what's going on, Trisha? Welcome to the stream. Alicia, nice to see you. Palm Tree Lover, nice to see you. What is going on, Macy? Nice to see you. Sandra, how you doing tonight? CD, how you doing tonight? Hi guys, love y'all, but these stories are getting hard to stomach. Yeah, I agree with that too. Howdy, T-REV in chat. Lisa, what's going on? Nice to see you. Money's Smoke. I'm gonna call you Money Smoke. This is so sad. These poor kids. It's every day. It's been back to back. Yeah, Audrey Cunningham, Elijah View. Now this. What's going on? Sleazy. He said sleazy real estate agent. In my opinion, he sold her. Damn. Katie, what's going on? Nice to see you. Let's think positively. Lots of people reboot their phones. Madeline wanted to live in the woods. She's probably camping. I'm sure she's fine and dandy. We'll see. We'll see.
13-year-old little girl seemingly vanishes into thin air. Her birthday was February 22, and she had said in the past, When I turn 13, I want to go away from everybody and go live alone in the woods. And right now, I think I know why. Is this little girl still alive? Where is Maddie?
It's
I'm
kissing
Nancy
me.
Grace.
You were
This
right.
is Crime Stories. Thank you for being with us here at Crime Stories and on Sirius XM 111. Right off the top.
I mean, what do you, before we dive into this video, like, what are y'all thinking so far with this case? Honestly, I'm just curious. Foul play? Is this case foul play? Do you think it's foul play? Or do you think it's a case that she ran away and she wanted to go live in the woods like her friends were talking about or whatever? And that in what we just read, Mac says, I want to be positive, but I think he did something to her. Harley says, another dead little girl because mommy had to have a boyfriend and trusted him with her daughter.
Oh my God.
I want to see what you said. Foul play. Foul play. I don't know yet. AJ, okay. I think so too, Mac. Why would she say that? That's a red flag. Alicia says, I think she got somebody on the internet or a friend or family person somewhere confidently to pick her up. Confidentiality. I see what she's saying. Did anyone hear Chief Fry from ID? Yeah, I heard that. She was being molested in her. Oh, wow. I don't know. Foul play, but mom's quote was kind of weird. Okay. So I wasn't the only one to side eye that quote. It hasn't been stranger danger the way I was taught. Right? Foul play. Diane, foul play. I don't know. It sounded weird. I mean, you dropped her off at a church and now she's nowhere to be found. But why don't they want the public to help? What's going on with that? If public is offering to help, why wouldn't you take as much help as you possibly can? Hazel Eye says foul play. MTB says something is up. Why didn't she want to run away? Or why did she want to run away? Courtney says because of everything on his phone, I believe he hurt her and he left her phone there so her body couldn't be tracked. Allegedly. Everything you hear here is allegedly. If you haven't heard it from law enforcement, it is not true. But we will talk about this case and we will discuss what's going on here. That definitely looking like some foul play going on. And he has some child. Did I read that right? Child porn? Homie's got child porn in his phone. What's going on? Child porn. That means you're looking at little kids. You're a sicko. You're a fucking sicko. That should be life in prison. I'm sorry, but if you're an adult and you're looking at little kids and you're getting off on little kids, your ass should fucking die in prison. How about that? It should be life in prison. It sounds crazy, but if that's what it is, then you should get burnt to the ground in there. What's going on, 13th hour? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you. Yeah, totally suspect. Or rip. I'm just saying, this is crazy. We got grown ass men looking at child porn. That is the absolute disgusting. Like, makes my stomach sick thinking about that. Jesse Pinkman says foul play. Colleen Soto, Katie, thanks. Why would he not talk if he's innocent? Right. He lawyered up right away. If this is somebody, all right, this is your girlfriend's daughter and you lawyering up right away, you're not going to talk to them and help them find her. Yeah, sus. That's not crazy, T. Something is really wrong with people who like that. It's gross. Yeah, you can't rehabilitate that. So, I mean, is this another Don Stephen McDougal allegedly? All I can say is I'm single, staying that way, and nobody gets near my granddaughter that I have with me. I don't blame you for that, Tracy. I can't. I really can't. Voodoo says I'm so sick and tired of children going missing because of all these pervs. Marlon says they are saying his phone has sexual vids of her on his phone and that he tried to delete them. Oh. All right, well, we're about to dive into it. Hey, T-REV, so glad you came on tonight to talk about this. Yeah, this case is definitely eerie. It's eerie, for sure.
There is a very strong chance Maddie could still be alive. Tip line 407 254 7000. Repeat 407 254 7000. Every minute counts with what we are dealing with right now. Her mother devastated. And in the last hours, around 10 p.m. last night, a break in the case, but still no Maddie. First of all, take a
What's
listen
going on,
to
Kelly?
Sheriff John Mina, Orange County.
This is every parent's worst nightmare. Many of our detectives and deputies who are working the case, they also have children, so they're working
Sickness
extra
that
hard
can't be
to
cured.
find Madeline. We can't even imagine the pain and anguish that Madeline's family is going through. But I do want to assure the community that we have well over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, and specialized personnel
Mm-hmm.
who are investigating this case and searching for Madeline right now. And we will not stop until we find her.
Over 100 deputies, detectives, intelligence analysts, specialized personnel. That means dog handlers, drones, you name it, in the search for Madeline Soto. Where is this girl? None of it makes any sense. With me, an all-star panel. But first, I want to go out to Hannah McKenzie, joining us out of Orlando, investigative reporter, Fox 35. Hannah McKenzie, thank you for being with us. Hannah, tell me about the morning that Maddie disappeared.
Okay, so Maddie was last seen around 8:30 a.m. on Monday, February 26th. She was dropped off outside, about a block away from her middle school, which was Hunters Creek Middle School. But she never actually made it into the school. School officials confirm she never checked in, none of her classes.
Okay, so she never checked in. Let me write this stuff down real quick. Hold up. I'm taking notes. I need to take some notes here. So again, let's run this back. I'm gonna start taking notes while we're watching.
Around 8:30 a.m. on Monday, February 26th. She was dropped off outside, about a block away from her middle school, which was Hunters Creek Middle School. But she never actually made it into the school. School officials confirm she never checked in, none of her classes, wasn't there the entire day. Her family thought that she was there, but it wasn't until her mother went to pick her up around 4:30 p.m. that they realized Maddie hadn't been there.
You know, before I began screaming at the top of my lungs about why the school didn't call the parents, why nobody knew, how whoever has her, if somebody has her, got what, an 8 or 9 hour.
So again, she specifically said that 8:30 a.m. she was dropped off on February 26th. She was dropped off like a block away at Hunters Creek Middle School. She never made it to any of her classes. Her mother went to pick her up at 4:30 p.m. and she realized Maddie wasn't there, but the school was able to confirm that she was. Okay, but all right, so that's the start of it. So they were able to confirm that she wasn't there. They're saying that boyfriend did, right? Boyfriend's also arrested on child porn charges. Trigger warning. But that's what he's charged with. He had child porn on his phone. I don't know. They said he was trying to delete it, but we don't know to the magnitude of what it was. But obviously we know it's child porn, which is disgusting. A grown-ass man, child porn, disgusting. Nice to see you too, Gwen. This is another heartbreaking story, guys. It really is. And we're starting to see a trend of this. It's like, damn, the last couple of days has been all nothing but young children going missing or being found dead, or you know what I mean? Like it's getting out of hand, I feel like. Ill Love Productions, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you, by the way. And it is a sad story, a very, very, very sad story. Tina Long says, doesn't school staff call the parents if the child no-shows? Where I'm from, they do. If you don't show up, your parents will get an automated call, or maybe, sometimes but it's usually an automated call, I thought, in middle school. At least it was for me. If I didn't go to school, it would just call and say, hey, your son is absent or whatever. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate the love. Thank you. Shout out to you, girl. What the hell? Not again.
Jump on us. Explain to me. You're joining us from Orlando. Where exactly did this happen?
So this is within the Orange County School District, and it's the Orange County area. I've spoken with a number of Maddie's relatives, including two of her aunts, her grandmother, and her mother, all of whom, like you, are so puzzled and confused as to why there wasn't a call from the school district letting them know that Maddie wasn't there. Apparently, and this is coming from the family, the school district's protocol is to release a robocall around 4:30 or 5 p.m., letting
She looks like her mom.
parents know that their student wasn't in class that day. But like,
But what time did she say that would happen at? Say that again.
as to why there wasn't a call from the school district letting them know that Maddie wasn't there. Apparently, and this is coming from the family, the school district's protocol is to release a robocall around 4:30.
Wow, so they failed to. All right. So from what I'm gathering from what she's just saying now, she's saying no call from the school district that day. Wow. So no call from the school district. So you're talking from 8:30 all the way up to 4 o'clock in the day. That, and I mean, that's what, 8 hours damn near. And she had all that time to go wherever or whoever. If somebody did anything to her, that's hours right there. That's hours and hours and hours of time with no notification that she didn't make it. So no call from the school district.
5 p.m., letting parents know that their student wasn't in class that day. But like you said, that gives an 8-9 hour jump on any nefarious activity that could have gone wrong. By then, it's too late. You need to know where your child is immediately.
Nothing but a robocall, no text, no email. So unless you're at home, basically, to get that call, you don't have any idea. Guys, we are talking about a little 13-year-old girl. We're talking about Madeline Soto, just 13. She goes as Maddie. Guys, you were hearing earlier Sheriff John Mina with the Orange County Sheriffs. Now, take a listen to the sheriff.
Mom's boyfriend dropped Madeline off at about 8:30 a.m. on Monday morning, a few blocks away from the school. At approximately 4:30 on Monday afternoon, Madeline's mom went to the school to pick her up and found out that Madeline was not there and had never reported to school. So she never actually entered the school. And so we also learned that Madeline left her phone at home that day.
Okay, I find so many things about what I'm just hearing to be very curious. You're hearing Sheriff John Mina from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. Number one, when I drop my children at school, I take them to the door as best as I can.
Thank you.
I don't drop them several blocks away. Number one. Number two, she left her phone at home. Hannah McKenzie, does she go to a school where they don't allow phones in school?
I don't believe that to be the case, but Jen Soto, Maddie's mother, did tell me it was very regular that Maddie forgot her phone. And keep in mind, this is only a few days after turning 13. So really, she's still a 12-year-old. They're not the most responsible. And yes, I'm sure parents are constantly, reminding the kids, don't forget this, keep this.
Appreciate you, love.
But Jen Soto tells me
we're going to make a change on that, I mean, do I got to go live 3 times a day? Will that make everybody happy if I went live more? I mean, I can. It's no problem. But that means I have to stop working on some of the series that I'm making. I'm making an important series right now called When Children Are Failed by Neglection. That's the series I'm making, and it's going to be like 3 or 4 stories compacted in one, like this story, something like this, something like Audrey Cunningham, something like Quentin Simon, something like Elijah View, something like that. I'm compressing and making those. I'm going to make that a whole entire series, because what do we turn on and see every day? Shit like this. Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Makes me sick to my stomach. So I'm like, earlier today, I'm like, it's time to start working on when the U.S. justice system fails kids. That's what I'm gonna call the episode, and it's gonna be a bunch of stories compacted into one. That's what I'm dropping next. You said wasn't until mom tried to pick her up did she figure out mom emailed teacher, then who said she wasn't at school. Well, I think Michelle said it in chat. I think she said at 4:30 they got a call. Nancy says that standard time for calling for schools in my area still kicking here too. What's going on, Brian? Nice to see you. Thank you, CR, for the 12 months. I appreciate your commitment for the Rep Game family and the support here. I really do appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Michelle says, I smell bullshit all over this story. Don't have a good feeling. Is the mother, you said, is the mother on camera dropping her off? I don't know. I can't say yes or no to that right this second. Blessed Mama Jack says, no way I would ever drop my child off blocks away either. You would drop them off right in front of the school where you would watch them walk down that sidewalk and go straight to that door. And then you would pull off after that, right? You would pull off after that. You drop them off at that sidewalk, watch them walk in the door, and whoop, you're gone. What's going on, Kathy? Nice to see you. I heard you on panel last night. Oh, okay, you're talking to somebody else. He did not drop her at the school because they probably have CCTV and a lot of witnesses. I am an empath. Sadly, she is no longer with us.
That Maddie would leave her phone behind quite often, so that wasn't abnormal.
That may be true, but let me go out to Anna Soto joining us, child grooming expert, clinical social worker, author of Duck, Duck, Groom, Understanding How a Child Becomes a Target.
Oh,
just those words right there, how a child becomes a target, are very disturbing on many, many levels. But Anna Soto, I don't know, just based on every teen or preteen that I know, they go nowhere without a phone. And I find it very coincidental that this day of all days, she goes to school without a phone.
Okay, so goes to school without phone.
Yeah, that's a really curious detail, Nancy. And I would also be curious about whether or not the boyfriend consistently dropped her off at other locations besides the front door of the school.
Okay.
Is this a common occurrence or is this something out of the ordinary?
We are trying to determine exactly what happened in the morning hours when little Maddie Soto gets dropped off at her school. Everyone, this occurred in Orlando, Florida. It's beautiful, sunny, warm. So I'm guessing if she were out in the woods, Hannah McKenzie, she would not be subjected to any kind of weather that would cause hypothermia. But
right away.
I just haven't had very good experiences in my world of children fending for themselves in the woods. So what were the temps on the 26th?
Probably hot.
So right now in Orlando, it has been beautiful weather. It's been kind of cool for us, 70s, and then at night around 60s. It has been beautiful weather. So yeah, no chance of hypothermia for sure.
At least that's one thing we don't have to worry about. For those of you just joining us, a beautiful little girl, Madeline Soto, missing since Feb 26. She was dropped off to school by mom's boyfriend. The mom has been in a long-term relationship with the boyfriend. He knows the daughter. When mom came to pick her up, she had never come into the school. What more do we know? Listen to Sheriff John Minna.
We were called on Monday evening at approximately 8 p.m. Our patrol deputies went out there, met with Madeline's mom at the school near Hunters Creek to take a report on her missing daughter. So we started the investigation that night, started canvassing the area, looking for any witnesses or surveillance video. So later that evening, while we were doing an investigation, we did obtain an article of Madeline from the house. We called our bloodhound. The bloodhound did an extensive search, which unfortunately did not provide any results.
Okay, so they had all right, let me write that down real quick before we move on with this interview. So they had a bloodhound. I just like to collect some of these details. So bloodhound, no scent at house. Or they didn't pick up on anything of relevance. So bloodhound. Okay. I just wanted to note that real quick. You said I could remind my girls to grab their coats before I would ever have to remind them to grab their phones. Right. The phone's in the hand. They're probably going out without the coat, right? You're like, get your coat. Oh, my bad. Yeah, I know, right? Julia says that will get to your head, Trev. Too much to handle. Come on now. We used to do what? Idaho 4 every day in 10 hours?
Her whereabouts.
Joining me right now, Chris McDonough, former homicide detective with over 300 death investigations under his belt. He's the founder of the Cold Case Foundation, and he is the star of The Interview Room on YouTube. Chris McDonough, thank you for being with us. Okay, let me understand something. And anybody on the panel, we've got a lot of esteemed guests on with us. This is not high tea at Windsor Castle. Jump in if you got an idea. But Chris McDonough, question to you. So she's last seen at 8:30 a.m. in the morning when the boyfriend of the mom's boyfriend, drops her off. There is actually surveillance video of her out of the vehicle, sitting in a parking lot. I believe, Hannah McKenzie, wasn't it at a nearby church?
That is correct. It's grainy video apparently, but it shows Maddie. We don't know if she was alone or with anyone else, but that video shows that she was dropped off in the area.
Where is the church in relation to the school? When I grew up, the school.
Oh, but before you asked that question, it was February 26th. It doesn't say the time, but specifically says Madeline Soto is a 13-year-old girl who was reported missing this week. She was reported missing on Tuesday after she was last seen at school, or last seen around or at around 8:30 a.m. on Monday, February 26th, in the area of Town Loop Boulevard in Hunters Park Lane in Orlando. So she was last seen. Let's just put it this way. She was last seen on Tuesday, the 26th. It's been 3 days. So 3 days right now, the 26th, 8:30 a.m. last time that she was seen. No, the boyfriend dropped her off allegedly. So boyfriend dropped her off, not mom. I don't know why I say mom. But yeah. That's good. He said, I'm the mom that will walk them to the door. Right? Tiana says they call first thing in the morning after roll call. That's how they should be, right? Just in case a kid is missing. If you get a call and you dropped your kid off at school and they're saying, oh, well, blah, blah, blah is not here today, you're going to start freaking out and looking for him. Here, it looks like that didn't happen.
Dr. John H. Hurd Elementary was in the very same parking lot. We shared a parking lot with Liberty United Methodist Church. So if somebody said, oh, you're in the church parking lot, that meant you're in the school parking lot. It was the same thing. So I'm trying to understand, where is this church where she's sitting in the parking lot in the morning?
It's about a block away. If you're standing on the sidewalk and you kind of crane your neck, you would still be able to see the signage for the school.
Okay, that's important. Guys, Hannah McKenzie joining us, Fox 35, 1 block away. And the boyfriend said he dropped her off a couple of blocks or a block away from the school.
Oh, Gwen,
he says he was ashamed of his vehicle. Did you guys hear that? She was ashamed of the vehicle. Okay, well, can I tell you something? My twins hate to get dropped off by me in my minivan. Hate it. Now, is that the case? I don't know. But he says he dropped her off a couple of blocks away. She's seen in the church parking lot, which Hannah McKenzie is telling me is 1 block away on surveillance video.
And that's actually one of the ones that I have noted. And in fact, if you think that there is a story, again, anybody in chat right now, subscribers, everybody, members, let me know. If you have any stories, any child failure stories where they were failed and are now deceased, and you want me to cover it and put it into, because I'm going to make it a series. It's going to turn into a series here. It's going to be 3 or 4 stories compacted into one, and it'll be about children being failed to the system and obviously deceased at this point. Or, we think that. I know Summer Wells, then you have Harmony Montgomery, and there's tons. I was writing them down earlier. I'm trying to remember which ones. Hold up. Quentin Simon. I'm just remembering off the top. You sent me, somebody said something about the West something boys. I wrote that down. It's in my notes. Shady facts. I have followed my daughter's bus. PhD in nutrition says I don't believe his story unless there is footage of him dropping her off, which is a good point. 13th hour says praying to be blessed with a membership one day. Love Trev. I got you. Yes, it is happening way too much. Every day, it's another story, MTB says. Mama Fee says, that's what I'm saying. Why drop her off a few blocks away and not at the school? Very sus to me. It is that is super sus. Why are you dropping her off one block? But could there have been a group of her friends and she was like, hey mom, or hey pop, let me, or whatever she called him. I don't know what she called him. So Michelle Eaton says, I believe somehow the boyfriend typed that on her phone, a setup. So it appears she wrote it, but she isn't going to run away in the woods with no phone. Yeah, you go out in the woods, no phone, no contact, no anything. I just don't see that happening. Not in today's age. But then again, I could be wrong. R. Whip says, my stepdaughter was failed miserably by departure of social services, and they never left her alone. They literally made her life a living hell, and unfortunately, she OD'd. I'm so sorry to hear that, R. Whip. My heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you. I could never imagine the hurt in your heart and what you feel through your soul. And my heart goes out to you. Thank you for sharing that with me. Blessed Mama Jack says, people are saying she was on video, but the cops refused to confirm. Well, they refused to confirm this, which in my opinion is a big no. That's crazy, Blessed. So they said that she was seen on video, and the cops refused to confirm that she was seen on video. Yeah, that's weird. You would think all the information helps, right?
We know she got out of his vehicle. That's important. So back to you, Chris McDonough. Here is another conundrum. The police get a call, the sheriffs, Sheriff John Minna, Orange County Sheriff, says he gets a call at 8 p.m. Excuse me, isn't pickup 3:30? What happened between 3 and 8? It's 5 more hours. Wow. Help me, Chris McDonough.
Yeah, red flags here. If the child has that type of gap in between from the moment they were seen on that CCTV potentially and the moment that they should have been returned home, that time obviously works in favor of the suspect, whoever that person is at this point. And that's going to be, quite difficult to fill in that time until they get somebody into custody.
Back to you, Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35. Why the delay? Maybe it's completely innocent. And let me stress, I do not believe Maddie's mother is involved in her disappearance in any way at all. But that time period, that's disturbing. Now, if I can't find one of the twins, which let me think has never happened. Hold on just a moment. Just once when John David snuck off at age 3 inside a baby superstore. But when they're not where I think that they're supposed to be, I take time to call them, to look for them. Maybe mom called her cell phone for 30 minutes. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Texted. Maybe mommy didn't know that the phone had been left at home.
That's crazy.
Maybe mommy drove the route and checked the route between the school and home and started calling friends. But 5 hours is a long time to wait to call police, Hannah McKenzie. Do you know what was happening in that 5 hours?
So, Nancy, it's funny you mentioned that. We are getting kind of conflicting reports. Obviously, we've requested the call logs, but right now, Jen Soto, Maddie's mom, tells me she went to the school to pick her up around 4:30, realized she wasn't there. She did exactly what you just said, Nancy. She drove a route that was from the school to Maddie's grandmother's business, which was very close, probably within a mile.
Well, whose business? Whose business?
This is Maddie's grandmother, so Jen's mom.
Okay.
So she drove that route to see if Maddie maybe had walked to her grandmother's business. Didn't see her. Went back to the school. By the time she got back to the school, it was closed. She emailed Maddie's teachers, got confirmation that Maddie didn't make it to school that day. She tells me she called police immediately, and they told her they didn't have deputies to send her away and to hold tight. Multiple members of Maddie's family tell me they just began calling 911, trying to get an officer out there to take a report, but they felt they were being put on the back burner. It wasn't until around 8 o'clock they were finally able to get in contact with a deputy to make the report.
It is super sus.
You know what it sounds like to me, Hannah McKenzie? That a lot of people have it all backwards. The time is reduced if the mom went at 4:30 and the call was at 8.
It doesn't make sense.
Okay. Let me go back to Chris McDonough.
It really don't.
Who's speaking?
That's Chris.
Chris, jump in.
Okay, so also another thing to consider, to your point just a minute ago, is she's dressed for a day activity, i.e., black shorts, a green hoodie, and white Crocs. She's not dressed as if she's in long pants and is going to stay out into the evening, which you had talked about earlier. So this child is anticipating some type of activities during the day, which is obviously important to consider from an investigative perspective.
Guys, you're hearing Chris McDonough from the interview room on YouTube. Now, I'm trying to figure out where you head next in this investigation. We also hear Hannah McKenzie, Fox 35, that bloodhounds were called out. Where?
That's correct. Bloodhounds were called out near the school. Apparently, there's a little hiking area back there. They brought in an article of Maddie's clothing for a scent reference, and bloodhounds were brought in. Unfortunately, they didn't hit on any scent trails.
Even in the church parking lot?
See what I'm saying? They didn't even hit on any scent trails. That's what I'm saying. Not any scent trails they didn't hit on. That's crazy. And this is the church right here.
I believe so. They were canvassing the
Good
entire
evening,
area
Nina. Nice
where
to see
Maddie
you.
had been seen. I know multiple businesses had surveillance video showing her, according to what Sheriff Mina was saying. So they did scour that area, and I believe they're still out there today.
Multiple businesses catch Maddie on cam? Yes, no?
In addition to the original grainy video from the church, Sheriff Mina mentioned in his press conference that there was other video showing Maddie.
Guys, joining me right now, I'm hearing in my ear, Dr. Trace Sargent, search, rescue, recovery expert, and spent a great deal. This is how I met her. She's an expert canine handler. She's a star of a podcast, The Seeker's Quest, and you can find her on Facebook at The Seeker's Quest.
Oh, that's a beautiful dog, too. Beautiful dog.
Trace, thank you so much for being with us. I know you from your days as an expert dog handler. What does this tell you about the bloodhounds being brought out?
Thank you, Shandy. I appreciate the love. Thank
you.
Well,
Nancy, it's interesting listening to the timeline here. That is an important factor when we look at all these different resources, specifically for dogs. Dogs have this incredible, amazing ability to detect scent in a lot of different ways. However, it's important for listeners to know that scent, if you look at it from the perspective of a living organism, it comes to life, it has a life cycle.
Thank you so
and
much.
then
I
it
appreciate
dies
the
out.
love.
And there are many factors that can either accelerate or decelerate that lifespan of scent. Describing the scene of where Maddie was last seen, it was very urban, concrete, asphalt, a lot of vehicles. Even though it was.
Hold up. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. You said, Trev, they arrested some teenager. Where at? Connected to this? Arrested teenager? And let's look that. I don't see anything on when did this happen? What are you talking about? What are you talking about down there? You got to click the right side. It's to your right, right? It'll show up. It shows up on the right. It's pretty easy. It's I'll wait until I see my child fully inside the school doors. There is a missing 12-year-old girl in Houston, Texas, or in Houston as well. Somebody said a teenager was arrested. A teenager arrested for what and where? Let me catch up to y'all. No way. Oh, snap. I'm not seeing it right now, but I'm looking for it. What's up, Arlene? Welcome.
Super, super hot. It was still sunny type of weather. It wasn't raining. It was dry conditions. All of those factors is going to have a negative effect on scent. And the bottom line is this: no matter how good a dog is, if scent isn't there, they're not going to detect it because there isn't any scent there. If we don't pick up scent in an area, and it's really very fortunate that we have any video surveillance that shows that Maddie was in the area. So that is a big, big plus that we as dog handlers have what we call a starting point. And then the dogs can determine a direction of travel, pick up the scent, and then follow that person's scent to hopefully where they are. In this case, if the dogs are not able to pick it up, you have to say, okay, did Maddie get into a vehicle with someone? Or if I was working this, I would put my dog in a situation where if Maddie is in the area and we can't see her with our eyes, I'm going to use my dog for that. Let's say in a wooded area or in maybe hidden in a building or something like that where we visually can't see her. Also, if I put the dogs, let's say in a wooded area, there's a higher likelihood that scent is going to be more contained there because of the vegetation, the grass, the trees, the canopy of the vegetation and trees.
So if they got her, all right. So if they have her on camera, right? They do have a starting point. They do have a starting point. So if they have a starting point to go off of with dogs, why aren't they doing that? Did they already do that? They must have, right? My kids' school has called me several times saying that my kids were absent. Made me leave work in a panic only to find out that they were right in class. So why wasn't this mama there? It's a good point. And thank you. How many times you do that? Wow. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for support. I appreciate that. You ain't have to do that. Thank you, Whip, too. I appreciate the support. Do they 100% know it was Maddie on the camera? I would think so. Saying that there has been a suspect arrested for this case. So for Madeline, you're saying there's been a suspect arrested? I'll be waiting to see that.
All of those factors are going to help scent stay alive even after hours or days later. So just because the dog team doesn't find scent at that exact location, there are still alternatives to use that resource.
It's only been 3 days.
But it also raises other questions. Is Maddie not in the area? Has she been picked up? Is she because my thought is that if she's in the area and let's say she's fallen down and hurt, her scent is absolutely going to be quite strong in what we call a scent pool. So if we're looking here now 4 or 5 days later, she's lying there in the woods, her scent pool is going to be extremely strong for the dogs to detect and be able to go to her.
This makes me think that she has been taken somewhere in a vehicle. Guys, we are learning more about the investigation. Has little 13-year-old Madeline Soto been taken away in a vehicle?
What's up, Aaron?
Is
Welcome.
she still alive? The facts we are learning are very disturbing. Very disturbing. Listen to Sheriff Minna.
Our missing persons detectives responded to take over the investigation. So they did interviews with mom's boyfriend, Madeline's friends from school. We were able to access Madeline's phone, and there is information on the phone that indicated that she told people when she turned 13, which was on February 22nd, she actually wanted to go live in the woods. So that was in her phone.
And I think I know why this little girl wanted to go live in the woods. Listen.
Detectives forensically examined Stephen Stern's cell phone and discovered disturbing images. Looking into the phone's data, detectives uncovered attempts to delete evidence from the device as well. Images and videos on Stephen Stern's phone that were criminal and sexual in nature. Detectives were then able to determine that those crimes were committed at the family home in Kissimmee. Kissimmee police were notified immediately. Stephen Stearns was brought into the Orange County Central Operations Office to be interviewed, but he invoked his right to an attorney. Sheriff John Minna says the search for Madeline continues.
Straight back out to Hannah McKenzie joining us, investigative reporter Fox 35 in Orlando. Let me understand. Detectives not only looked at Maddie's phone, they looked at the mom's boyfriend phone, Stephen Stearns. There they discover what they say are disturbing images. They also see where there have been attempts to delete images. The detectives state that the images show crimes were committed in the family home.
Yeah,
and
but
they are now investigating mom's boyfriend for sexual.
He had child porn in his phone. Child porn. not porn, or it wouldn't even be brought up. This sick bastard's got child porn in his phone, and he's dropping her off at school. Oh my God, dude. I swear. What is going on with these perverts out here, dude? Like, you get off the kids? That is disgusting.
Battery. What can you tell me?
You can never fix that.
Well, disturbing developments for sure there, Nancy. Not only are they investigating the boyfriend,
you gift him
Stephon
individual.
Stearns,
That's
they have
crazy.
arrested him. He is charged with sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. I spoke with Maddie's family. They were in tears just following this news,
Thank you,
telling me it's disturbing that he's been by Maddie's mom's side, Jennifer. He's been by her side throughout this entire process, and they're very shocked to hear the news.
Possession of child sex abuse material. He is charged with sex battery. Hannah, in the charge against him, who is the alleged victim?
They actually haven't named the victim. They just have said that he is now prime suspect in the disappearance of Maddie Soto.
Jarrett Ferrantino joining me, homicide prosecutor, high-profile lawyer at JarrettFerrantino.com, host of True Crime Boss. Jarrett, I think I know why she wanted to go live in the woods. I mean, if these crimes, according to what we are learning, they are telling us, we're not fabricating this, that the sex crimes, the sex battery, and the child
sex battery. Hold on, you said they are making me gift them individually for some reason. Also, I read that she was embarrassed by the car, so asked to be dropped off a block away. Embarrassed, like the way the car looked. I could get that. I get that. I get what you're saying. Oh wow, crazy! If you're just coming in, make sure you hit the like button. Hashtag FTA. Again, this is another sad story coming out of Florida. 13-year-old Madeline Soto went missing February 26th. She's been missing. She was dropped off at school at 8:30 and now nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And I don't know if it's stepdad, mom. I don't know if mom's married to him or not, but he took her to school and now his phone had child porn in it and now he's arrested. So what's going on here? Is this another sad case where she's with stepdad or whoever this guy is, and failed again? Oh man, this is a sick world we live in right now. I'm telling you what, and you cannot rehabilitate these people. You could not fix these people. You're never going to be able to. Life in prison.
Material. The crimes were committed at the family home. Maddie is a child in the family home. Now she's gone. She's been saying she wants to go live in the woods. A red flag, my rear end. If your little girl says, I want to just go live in the woods, Mom, I want to know, why do you want to go live in the woods? Why don't you want to stay in the home with me and your dad and your brother? I mean, it's screaming at me, Jarrett Ferrantino, that she is the likely victim of child molestation.
Clearly, Nancy, she's trying to distance herself from that home, and one can only conclude that it's distancing herself from the individuals in that home. The charge of sexual battery really jumps out, and the fact that the police are saying the location of the crime was in the home. Those are not typically the charges that coincide with possession of child abuse materials. These are actual batteries and affirmative acts that appear to have happened in the home. One can only conclude that Maddie would have been the victim of those.
Late last night, this boyfriend was taken into custody. You can see him wearing a white.
Here he is right here. There's the guy. There's your guy right there. Look at him.
Jumpsuit. That's clearly county issue. Hannah McKenzie, what can you tell me? Hannah joined us from Fox 35 Orlando. What time did this go down? And are the only two charges right now child abuse material and sex battery?
Taken at the home, yeah?
Those are the only charges that we have been made aware of, at least for this morning at the latest
So that
update that we
happened at
got
the
at
home.
around
Bet.
10:45. Those charges are still sticking. Stephon Stearns arrested for child sexual abuse material possession of, and then sexual battery as well. So I did speak with a law enforcement expert last night, just following the news that he had been arrested and named prime suspect in Maddie's disappearance. And he took a look at that perp walk video and saw that he was wearing that suit that you mentioned, the Tyvek suit. And so he told me that that indicates that Stephon Stearns' clothing would likely have been seized and processed for genetic and trace evidence. He also
Right.
likely probably had his hands swabbed, and scrapings may have been taken from underneath his fingernails. So I guess that is just the process where law enforcement is right now, trying.
That's a good point. Demons have been activated, I think. It's going crazy. I mean, it's every single day. Right now, it's been back to back to back to back to back. Wild shit going on.
To connect Stephon Stearns with the disappearance of Maddie Soto, and better yet, try to find where Maddie Soto is right now.
Dr. Trey Sargent joining us, search, rescue, and recovery expert, canine expert, and law enforcement. You're an expert in predator behavior. Why is he wearing the white suit I mentioned that Hannah McKenzie elaborated upon?
Yes, Nancy. That is standard protocols to collect any evidence, which is includes clothing, body fluids, hair, saliva.
Okay, I wrote that
anything
down.
and everything. And time is of the essence.
Thank you, dear.
When we talk about, again, the timeline, we're behind the curve on this, unfortunately, and trying to catch up, so to speak, and get
Did you guys know that this is a day after her birthday?
evidence before it's destroyed or manipulated in any way. So getting that up front and as close as possible, and really covering all the bases, checking all the boxes, because everything is pointing to him. And no matter, as you know, as a prosecutor, we may think that this person is the perpetrator and he's a predator and all of these things, but we have to prove it. And in order to prove that, we have to have the evidence.
Joining me is Dr. Jory L. Crozan, a psychologist, former law enforcement, now faculty at St. Leo University, at drjory.com. Dr. Jory, thank you for being with us. People may say, how could the mom not know that there was a sex predator in her home, that she was allowing access to her child? But I see it happen all the times, and I believe the mother. I don't think she had any idea what was going on. From what I can tell, Hannah McKenzie, jump in if I'm wrong. Dr. Jory, I don't think she had any idea what was happening.
I could go with that also, because I've had patients in child abuse cases where the mother didn't know what was going on because of the relationship with the live-in or the boyfriend being such a convincing type person. I mean, that's all part of their personality. That's part of that show that they play. That's who they are in that grooming process. It's an art form that's well learned. One of the points about her making a comment wanting to go live in the woods, I find that really kind of disturbing and interesting. And, we work these with timelines. And I first thing I would want to find out is, when did she make that comment and who did she make it to? And I bet, you could correlate possibly the start of any kind of sexual activity or abuse with that, because that's really an escape phrase. I want to get out of here. I want to just go live in the woods.
I've never heard that term before.
That's
an
because
escape
you are
phrase.
You're a member already.
You're hearing Dr. Jory L. Crozan, and now to an expert on grooming.
I don't see it.
Joining us, and Dr. Jory, jump in if you have a different idea, as well as to you, Hannah McKenzie. Guys, we're trying to find a little 13-year-old girl. She just turned 13.
Exactly.
She's really, as Anna pointed out earlier, she's still really 12. She just turned 13 a couple of days ago. And she kept saying,
Nothing.
When I turn 13, I'm going to leave everything behind. I'm going to go live alone in the woods. Why? What girl says that? Anna Soto
in the woods.
Us. author of Duck,
She
Duck
forgot her phone.
Groom, Understanding How a Child Becomes a Target. I was thinking you may not recognize what's going on because your boyfriend's or your husband is a predator, but
He's got it.
would you recognize signs in your child? Or if it's a teenage girl in this case, would you think, oh, she's just slamming her door and locking her door to her bedroom because she's a teen. She's having mood swings, blah, blah, blah. And I want to circle back to this, Hannah McKenzie. I wonder if they didn't immediately come to the scene because they discounted her as a runaway. Just a thought. But I want to address this, Anna Sonoda, the idea that her behavior was discounted because, oh, she's just a teen. This is the way they behave with mood swings.
Yeah, Nancy, you've brought up so many
Mood
interesting points,
swings.
and I want to first
No
begin by
arrest.
saying that over 90% of all sexual crimes occurs by somebody who is known and trusted. Stranger danger is a complete fib. And what we need to remember in this case is that the home is the highest risk
Right.
setting for any child. So if we already have proof of sexual battery by this individual that occurred in her home in Kissimmee, my alert bells are already on. One thing I need your audience to remember is that children who live with a single parent who is dating are 20 times more likely to be sexually abused
Wow.
than a child who is living with two biological parents. So Maddie is already high risk for a situation involving child sexual abuse. When we're
Can you give me that
evaluating-
figure
Love to
again,
hunt.
please?
Love to hunt.
Yes, ma'am. So children who are living at home with a single dating parent are 20 times
Right,
more
Rachel?
likely to be sexually abused than a child who's living at home with two biological parents. Children,
I would
for
also
example,
add
who
to
are-
that
What's up, Cindy?
the
Welcome.
lethality in that relationship of a live-in is very high. That's a risk factor too of not only sexual assault or battery, but the lethality.
Let me understand what's happening. Hannah McKenzie joining us. This idea of her going to, quote,
Amanda
live in the
Collins.
woods was also on her phone. The police found that. How was the mom responding to all of this?
Agreed.
Well, Nancy, at first, the family told me that that was taken out of context. They did say that it was a conversation between Maddie and one of her friends, and they had been discussing the state of the world, and they said if World War III comes, that was their plan to get away. But I do think the reason that they wanted to get out in front of that text message, because that's what grabbed all the headlines, right? Immediately, when you hear that, you think runaway. And that's what you brought up, Nancy. I think the family was so fearful that law enforcement and everybody else was just going to cast judgment that this was just a runaway. And they wanted all eyes on Maddie's disappearance because they truly believe she did not run away and she was taken and something nefarious has happened.
I'm just curious how much time they wasted, Jarrett Ferrantino, thinking
What's
that
going on,
Maddie
Dorothy?
was a runaway. Her mother has
You said this mom's probably beating herself up, Chloe. She was going, her mother. I've not heard of any teen being arrested. Yeah, no. I can't find that either. That's what I was looking up. I was looking all that up just now, and I couldn't find anything on it either. Safe place is your home. I sent you the mug shot. What? Where? Of this dude? Hold up, let me pull it up. To the email, let me see. The mug shot.
stated that she has never run away from home before. Not once, not ever.
Those are precious moments, as you well know, in the initial stages of the investigation. And although everyone claims they treat a runaway missing child the same as if they believe someone has been harmed, they don't. I mean, this was a very pressing situation. This was not a child who wandered off into the woods. And that sentiment could have thrown off the early stages of the search for Maddie here.
I'm trying to figure out how much time they actually lost. And we know because the school claims
see
they
no
did a
mugshot.
robocall to the parents. We've lost
Craziness.
several hours. Question, Hannah McKenzie, is the boyfriend now behind
Basically,
bars
that's true.
in custody on sex battery and possession of material related to child sex abuse, is he saying anything at all about where Maddie may be?
From this point, we don't know if he's cooperating with law enforcement. The last update that we got from them, they had mentioned that he had invoked his right to an attorney and was placed under arrest. That to me is a red flag saying he is not speaking until he has someone present legally representing him.
I
don't think he
understand
will
that
either.
grainy video surveillance, which may be the most.
He asked for a lawyer. I don't think he's gonna speak. But if you really think about it, I mean, why wouldn't you talk about where your girl's daughter is? You know,
important clue we've got yet, and I
doesn't make sense.
assume that police are combing through his vehicle
I'm
with
sorry
a
to hear
fine-tooth
that,
comb
Sigma
right
Mom.
now. But that grainy surveillance, isn't it around 8:50 a.m. in the morning, and doesn't it last for about 10 minutes? Do you believe that Maddie appears to be sitting in the parking lot as if she's waiting for someone?
I'm actually not too sure about the details of that surveillance video taken from the church. Maddie's mom, Jen, told me she wasn't even allowed to see it. She did tell me her sister had seen it. And then it seems like law enforcement took a little bit of a back step and said, well, it's very grainy. We haven't even been able to prove without a reasonable doubt that it is Maddie. And that is when he mentioned that there was other video taken from the area as well.
Based on that grainy surveillance video that occurred around 8:50 a.m. on the morning of February 26th, it appears, according to a family friend, that it is Madeline, and she appears to be sitting there as if she was told to wait, like she's waiting on someone. Now, I don't know how much you can glean, how you could determine that from surveillance video, but that's what was stated by a family friend. What more can you tell me about the relationship between the mom and the boyfriend?
He refused to be arraigned today. That's crazy.
Well, Nancy, it is interesting that sometimes Stefan.
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't think so. I could be wrong though.
Stearns is referred to as boyfriend. Other times he is ex-boyfriend. When I spoke with Maddie's mom, Jen, we did that initial interview.
What's up, Jennifer?
And it was
Welcome.
via Zoom. The entire time, Stefan Stearns is in the background. He's sitting just behind Jen, and he makes his appearance known. He comes in during the interview, drops a chair quite loudly, and then sits just behind Jen, staring into the camera, popping his knuckles, audibly cracking his hands, and fidgeting the entire time she's talking to me.
Okay, I'm certainly not an expert in non-verbal messages, but Jarrett Fiorentino, you and I have tried enough cases
That's weird
to know what that means. It's intimidating, it's defensive, it's a power play. Like, I mean, do you see my husband running across the back of this screen behind me? No, because it has nothing to do with him. Is he back there flexing his muscles and cracking his knuckles? No. Just, I find that really bizarre.
It is bizarre, and that's not the way. Whatever his intention was with that behavior, it's certainly not consistent with someone who, number one, was the last person to see this child before she went missing, and number two, someone who's concerned and wants to utilize the media to get the message out. It's somebody who, at a minimum, is trying to be intimidating, or is just acting strange, not in keeping with someone who's concerned.
And Jarrett, let's just clear something up.
Physical reaction,
he can have a lawyer tell him, exercise your Fifth Amendment. After speaking to him, say, take the Fifth, don't talk.
No words.
He doesn't have to talk about his child sex materials claim or his sex battery claim. But if he wants to fine Maddie, he could talk about that and waive his right to remain silent on that issue alone, couldn't he?
He certainly can. And it looks like the police gave him the opportunity to do just that. And they said he denied them the opportunity to bring closure and find Maddie. That statement has come out. So it appears that they've even given him that narrow road to say, help us find her, clear up this disappearance, and he's
Nothing.
invoked his right to counsel. And you know as well as I do, no one's going to advise that he come in and come clean.
Hannah McKenzie, I'm not
Yeah, no
sure
lawyer's gonna.
about this, but I'm getting the idea that what you're telling me or what this means is that there is surveillance video from other cameras, business
I
or
don't know.
residential, that suggests that was
Yeah,
not
that's the kid.
Maddie in the parking lot.
Well, it's unclear because initially family had said there was video of Maddie taken from surveillance video from the church near where she was dropped off. The sheriff's office came back after and said, well, it's very grainy and we haven't for sure ruled out that that is her or not. But he did also mention, Sheriff Mina also mentioned in his press conference that there was other video taken from the area. And I think that's just standard protocol when it comes into play. I mean, they're going to go to every business, every camera that they can find in that vicinity to
I
try
understand
and
that,
track.
but my point is, jumping ahead, does the other video from the area corroborate that she was ever in the boyfriend's vehicle, that he ever dropped her off, or did they just keep going? Is that why the dogs aren't picking up a scent? Because I trust the bloodhounds. If they're not picking up a scent, then there's something wrong with the story. What is wrong with the story? I don't know. Does that video suggest that was another girl in the parking lot?
I agree with you. And I think only
Chris
Nancy,
McDonough,
that's a
is that
great
you?
point
Jump in.
because- Yes, ma'am. That's a great point because that would be the pivotal moment that the electronic shift would have occurred in terms of the investigation. If in fact they have the video and they're not seeing, the young lady sitting, then if they
You
see
said his Facebook says he's a cast member at Disney World. Another channel said he was Goofy.
the car go by, immediately they're going to start looking for that digital footprint. And that's probably, they
I got the
downloaded
video,
it
by the way.
in a program called Celebrite, and you can get pictures and everything almost
Right here.
immediately. And that's probably what turned their head towards this guy and said, hey,
Which
wait a minute. We got some
reminds
other
me, I'm
problems
glad
here.
you said that. Hannah McKenzie, what's the make and model of his car?
I'm not for sure. I was told by Maddie's aunt that it was an older model Buick. That's what she believes it to be.
The reason I'm disappointed is because if it were a more recent version, I would know that there was a navigational equipment in the car. So there would be a way for that car to be
Nobody
tracked.
leave the phone
That
behind him.
said, if he kept a cell phone with him, which I predict that he did, we would be able to ping and track that cell phone to find out where he had been in that vehicle.
Mhm.
The car is being processed to find out if Maddie was harmed in that vehicle. Is somebody jumping in? If so, do it now.
Nancy, it's Jarrett.
Said
Absolutely.
it,
That's
do it
going to
now.
be a huge piece. His comings and goings, you
Do
know,
it
the
now.
police have his phone. That's where they found the child abuse materials. So they're going to be able to trace, number one, if he did in fact drop Maddie off, or where in any of the surrounding areas he may have gone with her or taken her, could have left her, her body, God forbid. But that's really going to be where the investigation is at right now.
If you know or think you know anything about the disappearance of this 13-year-old little girl, Maddie Soto, please call 407-254-7000. We are waiting for the make and model of the boyfriend's car, but please think back. Were you in the area? Do you know anything? Does your son or daughter know anything that Maddie may have said? 407-254-7000. We wait as justice unfolds. Goodbye.
Wow.
Guys, thank you for watching.
I mean, that was interesting. Some interesting details in here. And here is another interview that we need to check out real quick. This is with mom. Let's check out the mom's interview. Oh my goodness. Killing my ears, Smalls. But that, I mean, come on now. Sexual child porn in this guy's phone. Somebody said in chat, I don't know if that's true or not, but it speculated that, all right, here we go. speculated that, I don't know if you were speculating or you actually heard that, but I didn't see that it was videos of her. You know what I mean? I didn't see that part. Somebody said it was videos of her in his phone, allegedly. All right, here we go.
Well,
and tell us what's going on with Maddie.
well,
Here we go.
if you see
Boom.
this, please come home. Please be safe.
Thank you, Shell.
I love you very much. If you have my Maddie, please just let her come home. We just want her home.
That was it? What's going on? It's a 9-minute video and it just played like 3 minutes and then restarted. Or not 3 minutes, like 3 seconds. Hold up to 50% off. Get over that. Come on. We want to see
Jen,
this.
go ahead and tell us what's going on with Maddie.
Well, Monday morning, we took her to school.
Interesting.
We dropped her off close to school, across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school.
She said we
We
dropped them
across the
off.
street.
Thank you, Shell.
And walked to school, what we thought walked to school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point.
Appreciate that.
It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
And that was the last anyone's seen of her or heard from her?
Yes. I went to pick her up after school, and she wasn't there. So I started driving around, maybe thinking she took a walk. Maybe she decided to walk to my mom's office, which is pretty close to the school as well.
What?
Drove around and I didn't see anything. I drove back to the school. The school was closed. I emailed.
Thank you. Okay, I thought I was the only person that heard we in here. She said we dropped her off. We. What's up with that? I heard the same exact thing. We. The fuck you mean we? Yes, we is a good clue. That was weird, bro. She sure did. Mom is sus. You think mom is sus? Alicia says, well, if he did work at Disney, it's perfect for pedophilia. Huh? Mary says yes behind her. What? Him back there. Just Debbie says she's a little suspicious in my opinion. She did say we right there. She definitely did.
One of her teachers, they confirmed that she was absent all day. At that point is when I called 911 because I realized something was truly wrong.
Have you heard from any of her friends? Has she been active on any social media?
She hasn't been active on social media. None of her chats, none of her games. We did contact all her friends. None of them had seen her Monday or heard from her. Yeah, there's no update.
And I have to ask this, and I know I hate doing it, but is she the type that would run away? Has this happened in the past or anything? Has she ever threatened to run away?
Never. She's never ever mentioned anything like this before. And she's not the type to want to do this. She did accidentally leave her phone on Monday, which is kind of normal for her. She's got ADHD and very forgetful. So she left her phone at home, so there's no way to trace her. They tried tracing her school laptop, but that's off, so it's not pinging to anything.
Jen, what is your fear? I know you mentioned she's on games and stuff. Do you think she could have met somebody and tried to meet up with them?
She's open to us. She's open with us about, if she's got a crush with anyone.
Sure.
And she told us she had a crush on someone at school. And I looked at their messages. Nothing was weird. I looked at all of her messages, all of her deleted messages. Nothing seemed weird. It didn't seem like she was talking to anyone. So I don't feel like that's the case. I feel like she may have been taken, because this is not like her at all to just disappear and not let us know where she's going or who she's with. Yeah.
What are you getting from law enforcement? I mean, are they actively searching for her? I mean, what happens now? I mean, especially that she doesn't have her phone with her.
No emotions.
So as far as I know, they're conducting a search around the school. Behind the school, there's a Shingle Creek. There's a wooded path area that you could walk. It's a hiking path. They are going back there with their canine dogs. They've taken a piece of her clothing to see if they can trace her scent. They're also taking their own vehicles. I'm not sure what type of vehicles, but they're going into the woods to search for her. But I don't feel like that's going to find anything right now. We've had people all day on that trail sending us photos to see if anything there looks familiar and like her personal belongings, and nothing is hers. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure where to go from here. I'm just contacting the news to get the word out, to get some help, because I'm desperate.
Wow.
I'm a wreck right now.
So you think that she's been taken against her will?
I do think so, yes.
As a mom, you know, what's your mother's intuition telling you right now?
I'm trying to hope for the best, but I'm scared for her. I want her to be okay, and I want her to be safe. I don't want her to come back harmed. I just want her back. Whatever that means. I just want her back.
Are you getting any updates from law enforcement? I mean, yes, they're searching that small area.
Thoughts on mom? Chat. Thoughts on mom? You said I must need to research more on this because what I've seen is her wanting to go into the woods, and teenagers do this, unfortunately. Sometimes it's not someone else involved. Just saying. She sounds fake. Don't trust her. That seems fake to me. Fake. She knows more. Fake crying. Sus. Nope. This reporter doesn't update. That seems fake to me. Don't trust her. Fake. What the hell? She sounds fake. Baby, you is not crying. Even the reporter can tell.
Oh my God.
Sweet Pea says nope. K9 says fake crying. Katrina says if one of my twins was missing, I'd be losing it. Or I'd be losing it and wouldn't be able to talk. You'd be so hysterical. Somebody'd have to speak for you. Son of a bitch is loving this, Mary said. Shy said, she is not a wreck. Fake ass tears. Sydney says she sounds fake. Damn. She knows fake. Something is off. Seems like husband is abusive. Okay. Nah, man, I ain't buying it. She knows what's up. Damn, I see a majority of the chat. Thanks, mom. It's us, allegedly. I don't know what to think about her right now. I personally don't. I don't know what to think about her right now. As we're following and getting these details, I personally trying to fill her out a little bit. Don't trust her. She's shady. Jocelyn says now she's crying at the question as if she knows more. James says scared and fear of boyfriend. Angel's mama says she's afraid of him. MTB, yeah, she knows something. Fake, Simply Rose says. Mom involved, she's fake. Wow. This is one of the first times I've seen the whole damn chat besides a couple people. Nope, she is fake. I think I have good judgment of character, and mom is sus in my opinion.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
But have they gotten any hits on any scent or anything like
I
that?
want to go back in.
They haven't let me know anything. They haven't updated me since I spoke to them this morning. I've contacted them to get some information or to give them some leads, but I've heard nothing back.
And Jen, there's no way that she just being, a teenager was like, maybe had a fight with you or an argument with you and was like, you know what, I'm going to go hang out at so-and-so's house and teach her a lesson. Could that be a scenario?
I don't believe so. We actually haven't gotten into a fight in like a few weeks or arguments or anything like that. If anything, on Sunday, she celebrated her 13th birthday with my entire family and she had the best day. She was so happy. She showed us all her gifts. She's just a happy girl, and she showed it on Sunday night when she went to bed. She was so happy. So, she had the best day. I just, there was no moment in that evening from when she got home from the party that she had her phone or had the laptop. She went straight to getting ready and went to bed. So I know she didn't have any conversations with anyone. She didn't make plans with anyone. I didn't see any of that.
So she spent the whole Sunday celebrating her 13th birthday. Was her 13th birthday on that Sunday, or that was just like the time you guys were celebrating?
That was the time we were celebrating. Her birthday
Something
was
is wrong,
on Thursday
Hazel
the
Asa.
22nd.
Nice to see you,
She
Janice.
just turned 13.
But that's just so heartbreaking to be celebrating her 13th birthday, and then the very next day, that's the last
Right, Just River?
you've seen of her.
Yeah.
I mean, where do you go now? Are you gonna go out there and search or look, or what is are you sticking by the phone? Are you what are you doing?
I'm staying at home, staying by the phone, hoping she just appears. I know my entire family is out looking. They've all spread a bunch of flyers. I've had people contact me that they've gone to the international airport to spread flyers, to Amtrak, to Greyhound, just any way that if someone's taken her and they're trying to take her, just to show her face, just to make sure, she's not being taken against her will.
And you mentioned ADHD. Was there anything else maybe mentally going on, or that you knew of?
She does suffer from anxiety, and once upon a time she was diagnosed with autism. We had her what's the word?
Brained, maybe?
Reevaluated.
Okay.
We had her reevaluated a few months ago, actually, and they told us no, she didn't have autism, but she did have some autistic traits. She did have ADHD, some autistic traits, but not autism. So I'm not sure where to leave with that, because one doctor said she did and one doctor saying she doesn't, and I don't know. She's just in the middle, I guess, because she does have some tendencies, but socially she's pretty great. So I'm not sure.
And with the video that you were able to see whenever your boyfriend dropped her off, where was that? Which video? Was that a surveillance camera?
It was a surveillance camera from the church, Peace Church, right next to Hunters Creek Middle School.
And do you have that video?
I don't have that. They didn't show me. They wouldn't show me. It was actually my sister was the one at location, and they were letting her know what they saw.
Damn, those tears cleared up quick. Allegedly.
Camera.
Okay.
But they didn't show it to any of us.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. Jen, is there anything else that you'd like to add?
No tears sus. Anxiety sucks for sure.
Please, 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 if you have any information, contact me, contact law enforcement. Any information helps. Maddie, if you see this, please come home. Please be safe. I love you very much. If you have my Maddie, please just let her come home. We just want her home.
Well, yeah, something's off. You said something's off, huh? Damn, this is a crazy case. And mom saying that right there, like the whole we part. Oh, let's go back to that, right? Why do you got to do that to me? I want to go back and hear that real quick, because she did say we. Is mom trying to get boyfriend out of jail, or is he no bond? I mean, if she goes and got him, or if she went and got him out of jail for the charges that he has right now, all right, that's crazy.
And walk to school.
All right, let's hear the we again.
To school. My boyfriend who drove her to school drove away at that point. It was seen on video footage that she hung out in the parking lot of the church for a few minutes and then got up and walked towards the school. But she never made it that walk and that was around 9 a.m. when she got up. She never made it to school after that. It's right next to the school. I don't know why she didn't make it. I don't know if something happened on her walk along the way or if she got taken, but she never made it.
And that was the last anyone seen of her or heard from her?
Yes. I went to pick her up after school. And she wasn't there. So I started driving around, maybe thinking she took a walk. Maybe she decided to walk to my mom's office, which
Where's
is
that
pretty close to the school as well. Drove around and I didn't see anything. I drove back to the school. The school was closed. I emailed one of her teachers. They confirmed that she was absent all day. At that point is when I called 911 because I realized something was truly wrong.
Have you heard from like any of her friends?
I think
Has
that
she
weave
been
is about to
active
come
on
up
any
now.
social media?
She hasn't been active on social media. None of her chats, none of her games.
So I want to put that down too. So none of it. She hasn't been active on no social medias. Let me write that down. No social medias. I missed that one. No social medias. Or not active on social medias. Not active. Social medias. Okay. She did make a statement. She made statement about wanting to go to Woods. So okay. So she made a statement about wanting to go in the woods. 8:30 a.m. She was dropped off at February 26th, dropped off a block away from Hunters Creek Middle School. She never made it to any of her classes. Her mother went to pick her up at 4:30 p.m. and she realized Maddie wasn't there. No call from the school district whatsoever until after. Well, it was like 4:30, I believe, and then goes to school without phone after her 13th birthday. Bloodhound, no scent. When a camera gave dogs a good starting point. Not active on social medias. She made a statement about wanting to go to the woods. Dad or boyfriend was the one to drop her off. So, and that was a block away.
We did contact all her friends. None of them had seen her Monday or heard from her.
We did contact all her friends. Is that the we part? I'm trying to remember where we heard that we And I'm gonna open the lines up real quick. What are your thoughts on this case? Let me go ahead and open them up. I want to hear from you guys on this one. Let me put this up real quick. This one's, I don't know what to think about this right now. I really don't. 865, you're live. What's going on?
Hey, T-REV, it's Mary. Couple things. One, I think if you go back to the very beginning of the video, before he walks in, it's the part where she says, we dropped her off at school, I think. Before he comes in and sits down, you see him walk behind her. And then also, I think, I don't know, but I'm thinking that maybe she's acting a little sus because he is behind her, cracking his nails, his knuckles. I'm just kind of wondering if she kind of in her gut knows that, you know, he's done something, or she's got that question in her mind, or if the police have talked to her at this point, and then having him sit behind her, that's kind of a threatening thing, or maybe he said something to her about her. You know, who knows? I don't know. Kind of weird. Her reaction is kind of weird, but then at the same time, think if you've got a guy that you think has taken your kid sitting behind you, staring, you know, down your neck, cracking his knuckles at you, how would you react too? You know what I mean? If she's thinking there's a chance she can get her kid back, I don't know.
That's a good point. Behind her, cracking his knuckles. Yeah, definitely pretty weird. Is he controlling what's going on in this situation here with this interview? Is he, you know what I mean?
Right. And when at the very, very beginning, when you go all the way back, when it's just her and the reporter, he walks in behind her and pulls up in a chair behind her. And I think at that very beginning is when she said we, possibly.
Yeah, it is.
But I also heard on the news today that he has a badge from Disney, but he's never worked at Disney. And they think that he's been using that as like oh, look, I've worked at Disney, I'm a great guy. And part of that's damn grooming that we've been talking about. These a-holes, working their way in people's lives. The other thing that we're saying too is that hopefully maybe she has just, run away and that she is safe and hiding out because of this guy.
Right.
So that's why she wanted to go to the woods. And he was just unlucky enough that he was in a situation where they got his phone. Now he's busted too. And hopefully she'll be okay. But I don't know.
Why so late at the school pickup? Yeah, that's a good point. And why not no school phone call when she didn't show up, at least within the first 30 minutes to an hour of, her not showing up to
I'm,
class,
I know we saw the same thing with Audrey.
you know?
Same thing. These schools are not calling, and it's like, what the heck, Kissimmee, I was putting out there, and I don't know, I'm sure they're thinking about this too, but in the Kissimmee area, I'm here in Florida, there's a place called Kissimmee Prairie State Park. It's about 50 to 74,000 acres of dry and wet land. It has backcountry camping when it's very like anybody can get back in there and go anywhere. I hope they check that area if they're, I know they're looking everywhere, but if they're looking for woods and that was a clue, I hope to goodness somebody on the is listening to this, that they check that area, because it's an isolated area.
I mean, what do you personally think happened here? This guy gets locked up for child pornography, right? He's locked up now, and you got mom in this interview here, which I don't know what to think about mom, to be honest with you. I don't know if she's being controlled by him or, allegedly, all allegedly. I don't know if he's, because he is right behind her, and he does have like a little weird look on his face too.
I think by this time the police had probably talked to mom about this interview. They probably started questioning her about him.
Right.
I think he is suspect to them asking questions. I think he's getting nervous about what's on his phone, maybe what's happened, and the fact that the little girl said she wanted to run away. That the mom said she didn't always carry her phone to this, with her. So I think if he did anything with her, he took advantage of that because he knew it wouldn't ping. But, I just think I'm just thinking of myself. If I was sitting there and I'm sitting there going, oh my God, did my boyfriend do this? And I'm finding this stuff out. Does she know it during this interview about what's on his phone now? If the police told her that and they want her to do this interview to maybe watch his reaction, I think having some criminal justice background, I think his behavior screams a lot. And I think the police are going to really use this and look into this behavior with him, because that's a very threatening thing to do. I mean, he could come up and sit right beside her. They could have questioned him. Why didn't they question him during the interview? You know what I mean? I think they probably had a feeling about him before this interview happened, and maybe the mom was aware of that. Is probably a little bit terrified. I hope I don't, in my gut, I don't get the feeling that the mom has done anything to her kid, but I definitely think the mom was like, oh my God, what if it is him and he's in my house sitting behind me? There's questioning going on. That's just my thought. I'd like to hear what some other ladies out there think too. If you're not positive that the police have talked to you and now he's there. I mean, are the cops using this as something to help? How do I say it? There are a lot of these cycles, just like with Audrey, where the guy when he went to the search, Don went and set up the search. These guys do this shit. And this is the type of stuff.
He was knocking on doors and shit. Don was.
Exactly. So this guy doing this behind her is the same type of shit. It's the same type of, I'm getting off on this. I'm going to get away with it. How far can I push it? And I would be throwing up if I thought that was my boyfriend did something to my kid. But maybe she's trying to be strong to get through this to help catch him. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see how that works. I don't know. No bond, they're saying? He has no bond?
I think it was no bond, especially for what was on his phone. And they also said that he was supposedly a real estate agent doing real estate, which was kind of creepy. But yeah, I mean, and then somebody had said that years ago that he was involved, and maybe somebody can clarify this, but they think he was involved with, something with a child like 20, 25 years ago. I don't know for sure, but yeah, it's really sad what's happening. I just don't get it. I don't get what's going on with all these parents and these people doing this to these children. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely crazy as hell. I mean, and with this case so far, I mean, it's early. It's been 3 days, but it is highly concerning because she's been gone for 3 days. It's You know, it's not that cold. She could survive out there in Florida, but
Yeah.
it's still alarming that she hasn't been seen. 3 days. You figured if she did go to the woods, she'd fold within probably 2 hours or 3 hours. She'd realize, damn, I don't have my
Yeah.
phone. I don't have this. I don't have that. Damn, I'm thirsty. I want to drink. You know what I mean? So there'd be things and factors that play in there. But again, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for being a voice in the community. This case, we're following it up too, and the same with Elijah View still too. Little Elijah.
Thank you.
God bless
I
you, man.
know.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, T-REV. You take it easy.
You too. Lock your door.
Bye.
Shout out to the phone call. If you want to call in, it's 219-885-9693. We want to hear from you. What is your thoughts and opinions on this case? Is the dad sus? And I do got that article that you were just talking about. Let me take this. Phone's working great tonight. 757 sent from heaven. What's going on?
Hey, Trev.
What's up, Donna?
Oh, not much. Just really, here we go again. It's just a sad world, man. You know, it's sitting here watching this live, and you know, if you look at the picture of them in the swimming pool, the three of them, she had to have been looked like about 8 years old to me. And if that's the case, you're looking at 5 years of possible grooming if he was doing something to her. Now, what I heard today, and I'm not sure if it was on Nancy Grace or there was another, I can't remember what I watched today, which show it was, but they said that some of the pictures that they did find showed the inside of the house. It was actually inside the house, and I mean, put two and two together. I mean, it doesn't take much it's not a rocket scientist kind of thing. You know, who else would be in that house besides that child? And at the same time, you know, this mother, I don't think she's scared of him per se. I just think, you know, I'm getting the read that she's just in shock, you know, because if she's heard her daughter, she says she's never heard her daughter say anything about leaving. But where's that coming from? You know? And, you know, one of the things that kind of got to me too was, you know, why does she have so much anxiety? What's, you know, what is causing her to be so anxious? You know, he looks, I mean, I hate to judge anyone, but, you know, he is, the way he sat behind her, and this thing that I heard today, this body language expert was talking, and she said that the way he was cracking his knuckles, because they didn't show it on this that you're showing, but he actually gets up at one point, picks up the chair, and kind of he doesn't slam it, but he roughly puts it down next to her.
Like he's agitated or what?
Yeah, well, he just kind of you know, he picked up the chair and then he just placed it down very hard, right next to her, and then walked away. So the body expert said she was seeing signs of stress, like the cracking of the knuckles and you know, kind of like a pacing behavior in the very beginning when he first shows up. He's not standing immediately, or he sits down, but then he gets up and walks off screen. She said some of the stuff that he was doing is a stress reaction. The cracking of the knuckles. Who does? I mean, you know, there's an interview going on, you know, and if he's been with this child since she was, I mean, that's just a picture. We don't even know if he's been with her longer than that. You know, that picture, she probably, to me, like I said, she looked like she's like 8 years old. But he could have been with her longer than that, because this is evidently a long-term relationship, you know. Now, the we thing in the very beginning of this video, I mean, that is, I don't know. I feel like people do that in conversation.
Right.
When they're thinking about themselves and their partner. A lot of times they'll say we because they're more into they're no longer in a singular, they're in a plural relationship. But I think that's a natural thing that sometimes happens in conversation. But I mean, I picked up on that too. And then she said, you know, he left her. You know, he dropped her off and left. So, you know, she took it from singular to, I mean, from plural to singular, which is kind of odd too. So, I don't know. I just, in my gut's telling me that he knows where she's at. He seems kind of, as long as he's been with this girl, you would think he'd be sitting right next to her, holding her hand and saying, you know, it doesn't have to be his daughter, you know. If he's been with her that long, you know, and he's the boyfriend, but he's more like a stepdad or whatever, you know, he should be sitting right next to her. So that's kind of fishy to me too.
Another one of these type of cases where I mean I don't know what this guy's history is, but obviously with child pornography in his phone, it's
well, you know, the one thing too,
because that means
yes,
you're thinking about being with a child.
exactly,
That's what that points to me.
exactly.
And what happens when people do this? They usually try to cover up evidence and end up killing a child. Sickos.
Well, you think about it.
They need to fucking burn in hell.
Just,
They need a
right.
brick smashed into their brain. I'm just saying in general, like I mean, you can sleep great.
There's a special place in hell for people that hurt children.
Exactly.
I mean,
it's absolutely sickening that this guy, I mean, that any adult would look at child porn.
Exactly. But you know what, the thing too, say for instance, she did make that comment. Oh, I can't wait to turn 13 so I can go live in the woods and get, you know, or I can get out of here or whatever. Say she made that comment and he knew that she may have made that comment and he heard that comment. Mom may have not heard it, you know? So what if he's like, okay, she just turned 13, you know? Maybe she's told her friends here when she's 13 years old.
I mean,
you know,
little
that's
baby.
like opening a door to say, oh gosh, you know, I remember her saying that. Maybe she took off. Maybe she's run away. You know, it's sickening. It is sickening. But there's more out there than people actually know, and you know, I hate to say it, but I think everybody should, you know, be thoroughly background checked even when you start dating them. You know, in this world and day and age, even women. I mean, it's not just men; it's women too.
Yeah, it is, Donna. It is, Donna, but I mean, it's typical with these dudes out here. It seems like I'm hearing more.
Well, and there's women out there. There's women out there that put their men before their children.
Yes.
And I mean, I'm not trying, and men too. I'm not saying
no,
I'm not going to be.
No, it's
I'm not
a
going to
fact
generalize.
on both sides of the fence.
They don't want to lose their partner, even though they know things are happening. They don't want to be alone. They don't want to lose that person. They don't want to lose their stability. You know, I was a single mom. You know, so yeah, I rubbed nickels together. You know, to survive with my daughter. But you know, it's one of those things. It's nothing comes before your kid. You know, I didn't come before my kid.
Right.
My partner never came before my child. My child was first. You know. Bing bang. It just doesn't make sense to me. It makes me sick. That makes me that right there makes me sick.
They keep saying Triangle said they arrested him because he had video taken from the home with the child. They didn't say it was her, but I'm thinking it is. Triangle said.
Well, I mean, it's like that's what I said. What I heard was it was visual. They could see that it was taken inside their home. I mean, what other child is there? And the thing is, you know, I also heard that he factory reset his phone. It wasn't like he was just trying to delete pictures. That he literally factory reset his phone, which deletes everything, data, everything. But you know, I mean, they can get that back. Mm-hmm. But just so happens the day she leaves or the day she disappears, he's going to do that. Oh, by accident, and that was the word they used. He accidentally reset his phone. Now, you know, if you go to do that, it says, are you sure that this is what you want to do?
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose everything on your phone, right? That's bullshit.
Yeah, it is.
So
It is, Donna. That's bullshit.
anyway,
It
all
is.
right.
No, it absolutely is. And if this guy has no record, then I mean, there's really, I mean, what could you go off of? We can't say, oh well, they failed her, right? If
Yeah,
there's
but
no
like,
record.
you know, if he's this sick, if he's doing this sick shit, you know, someone may come out of the woodwork and say, yeah, I know this person. Just like, you know, that incident with Audrey. You know, people started coming out and saying, yeah, he did this, or yeah, you know, I know who he is. That's how they're discovered. You know, they make themselves invisible in the public's eye. You know, they get settled in a family.
Jersey, if you're talking about that article that you sent, I got it. I got it pulled up right here.
But anyway, I'll let you go.
There's more major development, it says. Oh shit. Major development. There's a lot going on here.
You've been a busy man.
Well, no, I'm seeing a lot of there's some major development. I clicked that one. Hold on, let me grab the next one. There's another one here. So I'll read every single one of these bad boys. Where else we got? What else we got? We got this right here. Okay, so this specifically says major development in the case of 13-year-old. This was 8:52 p.m. Hold up, when was this? Was this? Oh, no. That was okay. So that was yesterday. So it says major development in the case of the missing 13-year-old Madeline Soto. This evening, the Kissimmee Police Department, working in conjunction with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, arrested Stephen Stearns, 37, for sexual battery and possession of child sexual abuse material. Stephen Stearns is the boyfriend of Madeline's mother and the last confirmed person to see her on the morning of Monday of February 26th. During the investigation into Madeline's disappearance, Orange County Sheriff's Office detectives discovered disturbing images when they forensically examined Stearns' phone. A review of the phone's data revealed attempts to delete evidence. Through the work of our digital forensics unit earlier today, detectives discovered images and videos that were criminal and sexual in nature. Detectives then were able to determine that those crimes were committed at the family home in Kissimmee, and they immediately notified Kissimmee police. At this time, KPD detectives are the lead on the sexual battery case, working alongside members of our criminal investigation division. OCSO is still actively investigating Madeline's disappearance, and Stearns is considered the prime suspect at this time. This afternoon, Stearns was brought to OCSO Central Operations, where he was interviewed by Kissimmee PD and OCSO detectives. He invoked his right to an attorney and was placed under arrest and transported to jail, where we expect he will be held on no bond. Stephen Stearns had an opportunity tonight to come clean with detectives and help them lead to the information about Maddie's disappearance, said Sheriff John Mina. Her loved ones deserve answers, and OCSO and the Kissimmee police will not stop until we find Maddie. The search for Madeline continues. So there's that.
He saw an opportunity. He saw an opportunity, took it. That's how I feel.
So that's one of the updates, and there's more.
Anyway.
I'll read them. Well, I appreciate you, Donna. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for being a voice. We'll see how it shapes up. It looks like maybe this is the guy here, allegedly.
All right. Well, you have a good night.
We'll see, though. You too, Donna. Thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for being a voice. Make sure you lock your doors and stay safe. Thank you.
All right, you too.
God bless. We appreciate it. All right, let's dive into that too. Let's play. I'm gonna play this because I want to hear that. 1, 2, 3.
Monday morning, we took her to school.
Stop the cap. All right, so it does happen right there. Monday morning, we took her to school.
We dropped her off close to school. Well, Monday morning, we took her to school. We dropped her off close to school, across the street from a church, which is it's right next to the school. She crossed the street and walked to school.
Oh, I mean, she said we. Oh, my bad. I meant to take that off. Do not disturb. Hold up. No, matter of fact, I want to read this article that you posted. It says Madeline Soto search mother's boyfriend performed factory reset on phone the day she went missing. Thank you for sharing this, by the way. Let's read it. Orange County, Florida, a newly released arrest affidavit. Excuse me. A newly released arrest affidavit stated investigators found evidence on 37-year-old Steven Stern's phone that led them to arrest him for sexual battery and possession of child abuse material or child sex abuse material. Law enforcement said Stearns is the primary suspect in the disappearance of 13-year-old Madeline Soto, who vanished Monday. Stearns is the boyfriend of Soto's mother, Jennifer. According to an arrest affidavit obtained by Channel 9, law enforcement said Steven Stearns did a factory reset on his phone the day Madeline vanished. I mean, right there is, if that doesn't scream sus, what does? If that doesn't scream sus, what doesn't? I mean, come on. According to an arrest affidavit obtained by Channel 9, law enforcement says Steven Stearns did a factory reset on his phone the day that Madeline vanished. That's absolutely a huge red flag. the biggest one yet. Investigators recovered several photos and along with the child pornography. Investigators recovered several photos and videos showing Stearns sexually battering a child. What? Investigators recovered several photos and videos of Stearns sexually battering a child. Again, disgusting. Just hours before Steven Stearns was arrested for sexual battery and possession of child sex abuse material, he spoke to Channel 9 crying and pleading for help to find Madeline. He was the last confirmed person to see her. He claims he dropped her off at the church down the street from her middle school. I dropped her off early, but I could have waited longer. Stearns told Channel 9 Tuesday beside Madeline's mom. According to the arrest affidavit, family and friends said it was unusual for Madeline to be dropped off down the street. We dug into Stearns' background and how long he and Madeline Soto's mother have been in a relationship. Sorting through records and speaking to both his family and Jennifer Soto's family, we went to speak with Madeline Soto's grandmother Thursday. She was not home, but we spoke by Ring doorbell camera. She says Steven Stearns and Jennifer Soto have been in a relationship for several years. She said she is worried about Madeline's safety, especially after hearing what authorities found on Steven Stearns' phone. We spoke by phone to Stearns' father, Christopher Stearns, who said he was blindsided and shocked. As for a criminal history, Stearns is not a registered sex offender according to FDLE's Sexual Offenders and Predators Search. This is the first time he has been booked into the Orange County Jail. We found no criminal history except a handful of traffic violations. As for employment, it's unclear if he was currently employed. We confirmed he has been a licensed real estate agent since July of 2013. However, the state database stated he is inactive. His real estate license is registered at an address in Northport in Sarasota County, in the same address his parents live at. We did not confirm with Northport police that the agency is assisting Orange County Sheriff's Office in the investigation into Madeline Soto's disappearance expands. It's just so small reading that. And then here's another one. It says Madeline Soto search. Mother's boyfriend performed. Okay, we read that. I guess it's the same one. Just a whole different article. Madeline Soto search. Mother's boyfriend performed factory reset. That's the same. That's the same one again. Okay. Just making sure. And then in this interview right here, she says we at the beginning, but isn't it him that took her to school? And I just opened the lines back up. 219-885-9693 if you feel like calling in. Amen. My mama raised her and many others that weren't on her own. We were loved, had shelter, food, and lots of laughter. R.I.P. Mom number one. I'm sorry to hear that too, Tammy. Stacy says it's data not retainable after a reset with a warrant to the phone company. It seems as if they got it. Damn. 414, you're in the door. What's going on? Talk to me. 312, what's going on? You're live.
Hey, I'm over here in Chicago, so I'm not far from you.
What's going on?
I just had Not too much. I'm really enjoying your show. It's too bad you have too much news, right?
Right.
So anyway, I just wanted to say that there's a lot of things that we don't know, obviously, but a lot of things also we can kind of are suspicious.
Yeah.
So, for instance, the mom does change from we to he if you keep playing from the spot you're at. She starts saying, "Well, he drove away and watched her," so it becomes we and it goes over to he. Another thing is, why are they dropping her at the church? That was a little suspicious. And I'm just thinking, I taught middle school for 20 years, and I'm kind of thinking like how Maddie would think, because I saw a lot of kids go through various serious abuse at home, and we're mandated reporters. So I had to go and tell the social worker and the police that I believe this, child is being abused. And, two of the people that I told about that were taken out of the home. So I feel, I can see the signs. I know what's going on. Now, I'm not saying he didn't do something. I'm just looking at some other influences or other possibilities, including why did they bring her to the church? Did she ask to be brought to the church?
Right.
Because that would be suspicious that she wanted to go to the church and not her school. Someone mentioned about the car, which could be true, or being embarrassed your parents are bringing you to school, which could be. But I just found it strange, because if you put yourself in someone's shoes like hers, and you're having a lot of abuse at home, and you're having, you just want to get out. You think you just want to escape. And so maybe, she did make arrangements or something. And also when you have ADHD, which I do, you make bad decisions a lot of times. You make impulsive and bad decisions.
Right.
And one clue I saw was that her mom had said, "Well, we haven't fought or had argument in weeks." Well, why did that happen? Why was there a change? Maybe it's because Maddie knew she was going to get out, and she didn't find it necessary to argue with her mom anymore, because she knew this is not going to be happening anymore. So why do I have to argue with her, if she ran away? Now, this is just, he could have done it. I don't even know. I'm just saying some of the things I noticed. Another thing is working at a school, and my school was, in a disadvantaged neighborhood. So I saw a lot of things going on there. For instance, we had to have the attendance in by the end of first hour.
Damn.
Yes, you have to, the kids, and we took it in the afternoon as well after lunch, because the kid could have walked out, anything could happen. So what happens is then it goes to the office, and a lot of times the office cannot get through to the parents because their number is disconnected, which happens a lot, or they have a new number, or they just don't answer their phone. So in my, in the way I think about it, the mom might have found that call at 4:30. The school would not call after school. I mean, like I said, I worked at 3 different middle schools, and that's, that's just ludicrous. Now, I'm not saying it couldn't have happened. What I am waiting for is the statement from the school, because that's going to tell us more. I'm also going to wait to hear if the teachers noticed any behaviors in Maddie, that, her counselor or the teachers, because I tell you, it does show up. I've had, I taught writing and language arts, so we had journals, and, I would go in there and they'd be like, I don't want to live anymore, or this or that. And there's so many red flags that, you have to take care of. And this mom was in denial of so much. She wasn't, like someone was saying, she didn't want to admit that her boyfriend was such a monster. You can do that when you're in unhealthy relationships or you're codependent, and that follows through to the kid. So the kid obviously was, unstable as well. I mean, the mom is not, the one weirdest thing she said was, "I just want her home, whatever that means." What do you mean, whatever that means? I mean, do you mean she might come home dead, or she's dead, or I'll take, a piece of her arm if they find it? I mean, whatever that means. It's so, why did she say that? I think, and the tears were fake. Tears were fake. I mean, you can definitely tell. So anyway, I just want to also tell the viewers that ADHD is very serious. And I, being a teacher for that many years, I don't think it's overdiagnosed. It is kind of an epidemic, kind of like narcissism. We are in an epidemic of narcissism. That's kind of what you're seeing with these abusers.
That's a good point.
And so it might seem, like, oh, everybody has ADHD or something. There's a lot of testing you have to go through before they say you have ADHD.
Right.
And it is physical. There's physical changes in the brain and between the neurons in the brain and the frontal lobe, which makes all your decisions for you, handles responsibility. So she could be thinking, oh, everything would be fine if I just run away. And plus I'm not saying he didn't do something. I don't know. He could have very well did something terrible to her. He already did stuff terrible to her. We know that. He already was terrible. So, but I think there could be a possibility that she ran away because she did you got to go with those hints. As a teacher, when I got those hints in their journal or when I would listen to them talking to a friend or the way they dressed or whatever, you can kind of tell because they do put out signals.
Right.
Because that's how unconsciously or whatever. And I think her saying, I'm going to run away to the woods when I'm 13. I mean, you can't just say that's nothing. She did say that. That could have been a hint. Not that she's trying to give people a hint, but she's just putting it out there to make it more real, maybe for herself. But I don't know. He could definitely, because he was the last person to see her, and that is a very big factor. You always go by the last person.
And he acted, deleting shit. So, come on now. Like,
oh yeah. Well, he already had, you would be surprised how many people might be very sick like that and do things that you didn't even imagine they're doing. Right. That's what we're finding out because of social media and different things. We're learning more. Like this stuff did go on. People are like, oh, it's increasing. Well, it might be increasing a little, but when this stuff went on in the past, no one knew about it because they didn't have the technology and they didn't have the, a lot of people say, we have too much intrusion with all the security cameras but it's also good because then you can find if people were abducted or missing because you got it on the security camera.
Right.
So it kind of goes both ways. And years ago, they didn't have that security camera. They didn't have, think about, if you can remember, I don't know, I'm a little older than you, but if you remember Rodney King was, basically beat up to a pulp by the cops. And the only reason they were able to know that is because someone back in the 90s had video or there was some kind of surveillance camera. That was early on that they had stuff like that. And that's what's been happening now. You're just seeing it more. Cops have to wear body cams.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
And
Rodney King was.
Everyone has a phone camera. So I think we have to realize that this has been happening. It's just that no one talked about it. Or they got away with it. Not everyone, but a lot did, and a lot still are. That's why you have to look at your neighbor. If you are in denial, you have to wake up and realize, like a lot of people had said, you cannot put your boyfriend before your kids. And, from someone that, like me, which I might have done that a little bit, not terribly where my child got abused or anything, but my mind was more on like a boyfriend rather than my son, more on, not really balanced. But that's also immaturity. And it's also coming from, the fact that I was in a dysfunctional family and have ADHD. So you then have that against you. You're not going to make good decisions. So I hope she is alive. I pray she is alive. I've seen behavior like this. I've seen on the parents like this, where the parents are abusing. And I want to see what the teachers say. Because they might not even tell us what the teachers saw, but hopefully the news organizations can get to that, with that information. And the school will say, I'm pretty sure, that we called her, and she could have had it on her landline, or she had her cell phone or just didn't pick it up. You know, I just have a feeling when she said they called at 4:30, that's when she found the message.
Right.
Because I really doubt that a school would do that. We took attendance twice.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm pretty much done, I think, with everything. I want to hear from the school. I don't criticize the school yet, people. Yes, schools can do some very bad things and drop the ball on a lot of things, but we have to hear their side, because I just don't trust her that, the school didn't call till after school. And she was driving around. Why didn't she go to the school first? Because I've had kids that stayed after school and didn't tell their parents, and then their parent comes in, and then the office will call me in the intercom. They're like, do you have such and such in your room? You know, did they stay after school? I'm like, yeah. I go, didn't you call your parents? And they're like, oh, I forgot. So the parents usually come in. They don't drive around like, oh, she might have walked somewhere. So the mom obviously knows a lot more, or she suspects more. The mom is scared right now to death, not only of the guy, but as being an accomplice. And I feel she really hates that she let down her daughter, but I don't think her emotions are so immature that she doesn't even know where to start right now.
Yeah, this youngin' ain't alive no more. Like, I don't know. Mother hasn't been.
He's wrong. He had stuff on his phone. I'm not saying it's not wrong. That it's sick, and he needs to get the worst punishment ever. But I'm just saying we also have to look at the other things.
Absolutely. Well, we'll see if she ends up being found. Hopefully she's found alive and she's somewhere hanging out or something, you know. Hopefully it's, but then again, I mean, when you have somebody like that, he took her to school, and then all of a sudden he's trying to delete shit out of his phone, so he factory reset it, and they still got it on his ass. So
like people don't, like I said, the intrusion, people don't realize you can delete whatever you want. They're going to get it. They can get anything on you.
Absolutely. They can get back at all.
That could be good or bad, I guess. It's one of the things we deal with now. It's a debate. It's open for debate. But yeah, I hate the fact that he was a sick perv and that they now have him. Hopefully he didn't do what, we are suspecting, but it also could have made her run away because it was such a bad environment. But we'll see.
We'll see.
I want to hear the school talk. That's my first thing I'm waiting for. When the school makes a comment.
We'll wait to see it. It's always Audrey all over again. Crazy.
I know. Well, thanks for letting me talk, and have a great night.
You too, ma'am. God bless you. Make sure you lock your doors and stay safe. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for your voice. We appreciate you. God bless. Shout out to her. Good phone call. 219-85-9693. Keep the trend going. Let's go. Way off, in my opinion, Divine Timing says. I agree. Something is off. I think mom knows more. It's a pedo's world. It's a pedo's world. The light is shining on this evil that has existed and been too taboo to talk about. I couldn't hang out. You said I couldn't hang out in the woods 3 days at a time, or 3 days as an adult. She's afraid to go home because she might bail out of jail, or because he might bail out of jail. Just thoughts. Sorry. We'll see. We'll definitely see. We will definitely see. I got the worst migraine in the world right now. Good gracious. The worst migraine. Problem with background checks today, people can give fake IDs, including social security cards. A child wants her phone and computer, not camping, just saying. We're in a freaking loop with these cases lately. Just the last few weeks. He's no bond. Yeah, my head is pounding. I might have to go get off. For real, honestly, I can't even. My head is pounding so hard right now. I can't even think straight. My head is straight up shaking right now. So I think I'm gonna go chill for a little bit. I wanted to get on and cover this for tonight. I'm up. I've been awake since last night's stream. I still haven't even slept yet. But I appreciate everybody who came by. I'm glad we got to cover this a little bit tonight. We'll dive in deeper tomorrow. I'm gonna rest and take some medicine and take this headache away and lay down and rest. I appreciate you guys. I definitely wanted to hop on here. We talked, we had a conversation, went over some stuff to get this started. Tomorrow will be a lot longer stream and we'll be able to dive in a lot deeper. I'm sure there'll be more details and things to that nature. And if I can't fall asleep, I'll probably go on the second channel. So we'll see how that works out. I appreciate you all, everybody who came by, showing love and sharing this story out there. Again, share articles, etc. When I end this stream, if you're still here and you're listening, make sure you comment on the stream. It helps push everything out. So anything that you see, comment on it. It helps push it and people will see it more. Thank you guys. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Feel free to contact me wherever on any social media platform that I have. Reach out to me. Thank you guys. And yeah, sleep. I need it. I need some sleep. Oh man, my head is pounding right now. Thank you guys.
He goes by T-REV, so we'll call him that as well. And he joins us now.
People get killed for other stupid choices. Standing up for the families that took a loss. This something that we find important. Rap game strong, chest up. Little homie, keep your head up. You can be whatever you want. Get rid of the fake and it will lead up. All my life I strive for greatness. I'm manifesting my time with patience. People trying to copy us, but respect is earned. It's not an obligation. I love the fam and they love me back, and that's why I always have it back. So I give a voice to those people who were never given a chance for them slimy cats. When you come here, you ain't a number to me. I really take time to read what I see.